In this fast-paced world, you need more than just a connection. You need the power to always remain a step ahead. The power to lead the pack. You need a superpower. And with Jazz, you get that. Stay seamlessly connected with Jazz, Pakistan's leading mobile network. Experience unmatched reliability through services tailored to your needs. Enjoy your favorite content anytime, anywhere with Tamasha, Pakistan's #1 OTT platform. Stream live sports, TV shows, movies, and dramas on the go. Simplify your life with Samosa, the app that wraps it all. From checking your balance, recharging multiple networks effortlessly, to enjoying various lifestyle features and getting accurate namaz timings. Samosa has everything you need in one place. Experience unparalleled convenience with Jazz Cash, Pakistan's leading mobile wallet. Seamlessly manage your finances, pay bills, and transfer funds with ease. Explore the future of innovation with our latest ventures. Because with Jazz as your superpower, you're not just part of the digital revolution, you're leading it.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's difficult to describe a country in a few words, but if I were to take a shot at describing Pakistan, I will have to start with growth. 250 million people, 5 million added every single year. It is a growth engine. But this demographic dividend has to be delivered through demographic duties. These kids need education, they need entertainment, they need health, they need meaningful livelihoods. Today, me and my team are excited about providing these opportunities to the future of Pakistan. Resilience is also part of our DNA. And as a country, we have gone through more than our share of the poly crisis, from COVID to climate to conflict. Now, I know Hasnain has done a really good job talking about Pakistan and the optimism that lies before us. Some of these numbers in terms of growth and how it has trickled down over the years may not do justice to the optimism that we feel on the ground. Pakistan is a resilient country, and I sense it every single day. Just let's look over here. 100 million people still do not have a bank account. 45% have never used the internet. While these could be somewhat underwhelming stats for some of the faint-hearted, for the team at Jazz, these are the rallying cries to unleash the opportunities for the country at large. We remain committed in our mission to put a smartphone in every hand and a broadband connection in every home. How did we get to this thing now? 10 quarters ago in this room, and Khan talked about promises made and promises delivered. I made only two, one of top-line growth and the other of digital services. And if I remember the numbers correctly, the top-line growth was 15.3% and digital services was 45%. We clocked 23% growth last year, and for the first 5 months of this year, we're at 29%. On digital services over this time period, we have delivered on 55%. How did we do it? We stayed committed to the core, and we were very intentional about the more. And when we combined the core and more, we came up with our version of what Khan calls Do 1440, where we don't have a transactional relationship of 32 minutes, selling minutes and messages, but a transformational one where we're helping define the moments for customers every single minute of the day. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to talk about the core and the 3 big bets on the more. But as Khan mentioned in the introduction, we are not only growing within the context of Pakistan, we are also becoming more and more relevant in the context of VEON. More than 1/3 of the revenue, 37% of the EBITDA, 45% of the customers, and 47% of the VEON universe in terms of population is from Pakistan. It is not only an honor, but a responsibility, and a responsibility that we take very, very seriously. Before moving forward, I want to talk a little bit more about Jazz. Perhaps VEON Pakistan would be a better name because Jazz is the telecom company, and then from there we have evolved to being many different things. In some ways, Jazz is a group within a group. Over the last 3 decades, we've been building towers, selling SIMs, and we are very proud of our legacy. We're very proud of our commitment. We're very proud of digitizing and providing connectivity services to Pakistan. But we didn't stop there. In the connectivity line of business, we have our GSM business with 70+ million customers. We have a captive tower company with more than 10,000 towers. Our first big foray into an adjacent business was financial services. We acquired a bank, so we're into banking. And from there on, we pivoted towards financial services. And I'll spend some time talking about Jazz Cash and why it is such a huge opportunity for us. So we have now a complete line of businesses. Until last year, about 13 or 14% of our revenue was coming from financial services in the context of VEON Pakistan. From there on, we got the confidence to do a bit more. We got into entertainment. And today, the largest OTT entertainment platform, Tamasha, is another service that we started. And it's a completely telco agnostic service. So we learned our lessons from Jazz Cash. We didn't really want to anchor everything around Jazz. And most of the new products that we're launching, they're actually non-telco oriented in a sense that we don't really want to anchor it with the Jazz brand. So Tamasha was our first foray into a new brand. Since then, we have gotten into Samosa that you saw in the video, and then Garage. So beyond platforms, when we talk about the opportunities in Pakistan, enterprise is a huge opportunity. Just like everywhere else in the world, the data, cloud, data centers, analytics, software services are exploding, and cloud is our offering over there. The CAGRs below show the excitement on the digital services. Yes, we will continue to push on the telecom services, but the real excitement is what do you do on top of the captive customer base? How do you actually monetize them? How do you actually keep on delivering the evolving needs of the customers as time goes by? Let's start with, and these are the next 4 slides. I'm going to start with where we have leadership, the core, and then the 3 elements on the more. Leaders in connectivity. And there are 2 numbers I want you to focus on. The first one is mobile subscription market share, 38%. And the second one is revenue market share of 45%. So we're punching way above our weight. And since 2018, we have increased this revenue market share by almost 5%. So we were close to about 40%, which was very similar to our subscriber market share. But today we have 45% revenue market share while having only 38% of the SIMs. And how have we done that? We have been conscious of the inflation in the country. We've been very disciplined around inflationary pricing. We have a multi-play strategy, and what does that mean? That means offering the right digital service for the right customer at the right time in the right context. We have one of the largest data lakes in the country. And on top of that data lake, we add our analytics layer. And we utilize that analytics to make sure that we can engage with our customers, and that relationship of 32 minutes gets converted into more and more moments and memories. And that's what we have effectively done with Jazz Cash, with Samosa, and now with Tamasha. It's not very common when you can actually see a mobile telco increasing its ARPU. And we have done that not only in nominal local currency, but now also in dollarized currency. Pakistan came very low to being a sub $1 ARPU market, and Jazz was hovering just about $1. We are now at $1.30, and our ambition over the next 2 years to start coming closer to 2.5, which is a sizable number given the population and where the economics start working for us again. But again, this is a very encouraging signal, And I hope that us as a market leader also signal that this is possible for the rest of the industry. It's not just an issue for Jazz alone, it's a sectoral and an industrial issue. And Jazz, with its leadership position, is conscious that it sets the tone for the rest of the industry. Moving to Jazz Cash, and this is one of the businesses that excites me the most. Jazz Cash is not just about transactions, it's about transformation. It's transforming an economy from cash to digital. We get a seat at the table sitting next to the central bank governor, the finance minister, and the prime minister, because they all have the same challenge in terms of digitizing the economy. And nobody is better suited than us in terms of doing that. We started with two simple products, utility bill payments and domestic remittances. And today, we're a 360 fintech, which does everything from nano lending to merchant acceptance points, to credit scoring, to distribution. I want to focus a little bit more on merchants. Pakistan is a cash-based society with 95 plus transactions actually happening on cash. This is where the biggest digital opportunity is. And today, Jazz Cash has more than 300,000 locations where the QR code is accepted. And we have an ambition to take that to 1 million over the next 2 years. There are a total of about 3 million micro, small, and medium enterprises. And when I sit down with the government, they want to digitize these transactions to digital. And this is where Jazz, again, plays a larger-than-life role when it talks about the country as a whole. Today, more than 55% of all transactions, financial transactions that happen on a mobile phone, are on the Jazz Cash platform. And we are competing with one other big fintech player, 33 commercial banks, and 11 EMI operators. So there is Jazz Cash on one side and this universe of competition on the other side, and we are more than half of that. So it's a great position where we continue to build our strength. I know the 24% number doesn't sound that impressive, but if you actually factor in the currency losses that we've incurred over the last 2 years, this year, I can tell you that in local currency, we're growing at about 80%, and that's what we achieved last year also. And we are growing not only in terms of number of transactions, but also in terms of rebuilding our monthly active users. So we had for a while taken a pause in terms of not going with the vanity KPIs of MOUs. So we started focusing more on the use cases and making sure that the unit economics of every use case is positive. And we have done a great turnaround in terms of making sure that this is a sustainable business and not a business which is just a valuation creation element. That world has consistently, or that world has changed over the last years. Now it is not just the growth of transactions numbers, but also real cash flows and EBITDAs. So Jazz Cash today is the largest fintech, a profitable one, and growing at a fast pace. I'd like to highlight one or two more numbers over here. Every single day, we issue more than 100,000 nano loans. These loans are to the tune of $20 to $30. And these are productive loans. So there's a rickshaw driver in the morning who gets a loan, gets his passengers, 2 days later, generates the revenue and pays the loan back. These are productivity-oriented loans, exactly what the country needed. And Jazz Cash is proud to be servicing that need. Every single day, there are more than 7 million transactions that happen on the Jazz Cash platform. I already gave you the scale. That's more than 55% of all the transactions that happen over here. And with our wide universe of more than 300 acceptance points, 200,000 agents, Jazz and Jazz Cash is the largest distribution network. Moving on. Tamasha. Pakistan is also an entertainment-starved environment. And through Tamasha, we're actually providing that entertainment to the small screen. Now, this trend is doubly important in the context of Pakistan because not everybody has access to a large screen in a comfortable living room. Many people rely only on their smartphone as their universal remote control to the life. And on top of that, there is also that mobile population which is always on the go, and they don't want to miss their cricket match. So Tamasha, within a span of only 2 years, has now become the largest entertainment platform in Pakistan. Last year, when there was a cricket match between Pakistan and India, we had the peak concurrency of 21 million customers. 21 million people watched cricket on Tamasha, which was the same number as those watching it on the large screen. That was an extremely important inflection moment. The trends of viewership had changed, and it's only a question of time before the trends of advertisers will also change. We saw very good traction in terms of tier 1 brands coming and advertising on Tamasha, and that trend we continue to see. The last thing that I'd like to mention on Tamasha is that not only are we building content, we are also creating hyper-local content. Because it's not just the size of your library, it's the relevance of that library. And people want to watch what they care about. We are also building and developing Tamasha Originals, small series, short series. And on top of that, we are complementing it with shorts and reels. We piloted this product 2 weeks ago, and we've already had more than 75,000 views on it. So just like TikTok and shorts and reels of every other platform, we are developing user-generated and professionally curated content on the shorter version. Tamasha, 60% of the customers are non-Jazz customers. Now that's a hugely important thing. We are now a completely telco-agnostic brand when it comes to entertainment. And our competition is advertising on Tamasha. This is the biggest proof that this is now being disassociated with Jazz in a healthy manner. While we still orchestrate and benefit from the common data lake, we have now positioned Tamasha as a separate identity with its own CEO, its own management team, and it's soon going to be carved out so that it operates in the right entertainment platform, attracting the right level of investors from there. The third big bet, Garaj. Garaj actually means thunder because the word Badal, which is cloud, was already taken. So we're now creating brands which are actually more Urdu sounding and appeal to the local environment. Like everywhere in the world, Garaj and data centers and cloud is a fast growing business. The beauty of this is that we have a relationship with 95 of the top 100 PSX companies in Pakistan. So we already have an unfair advantage. We have a foot in the door, and we are going back to our corporate enterprises and saying, listen, Mr. Bank, your business is banking. Why do you worry about IT services? Why do you worry about storage? Why do you worry about analytics? Give those problems to us, and we're here to solve them for you. On top of that, not only do we provide them infrastructure as a service, we provide them platform as a service, but we're also providing them relevant use cases in terms of software as a service, starting from cybersecurity to all the unique things that they want. So the cloud offering over here, one of the fastest growing ones, as you can see over here, almost did not exist 2 years ago. And an exponential rise. This is something that is difficult to measure in CAGRs. We are just growing 3x this year, and we're going to grow 3x next year. And the appetite is humongous over here. This complemented with the fact that we have been able to work with the government to create regulation where the Pakistani data stays in Pakistan. And for geopolitical reasons, I don't see and I don't anticipate the big hyperscalers coming into Pakistan yet. So the field is wide open, and a brand like Garaj, backed by Jazz, is the right combination that gives confidence to our enterprise businesses that these are the right partners to continue with. Jazz and our story is not just about creating good, exciting products. We stand for a lot more. As a leading corporate, we have a responsibility. We have an opportunity to be a catalyst for change for a prosperous and progressive Pakistan. And we take this responsibility very seriously. Jazz exists because we want to help improve the lives and livelihoods of people through technology, especially marginalized communities, women, and youth. And we over-index our support to make sure that we can challenge the cultural and societal norms, especially around smartphone ownership for women and providing financial freedom to them. On top of that, we are committed to some of the ESG commitments. By 2050, we want to get to a net zero. And by the end of next year, 10% of our network is actually going to be on solar. I hope over the last 10, 15 minutes, I've been able to articulate our brand's bullseye. and have shared with you our exciting journey pivoting from being a monolithic telecom company to being a services company with a digital heartbeat. And before I end, I want to make one more promise. I want to share our ambition of 20% growth for the next 3 years. Thank you very much.
Amir, very well done. Thank you very much. Really a fantastic success story.